customers are inventing with purpose on Azure. And it's this focus on your outcomes that helps us invent with purpose the platform and the features that you need to be successful. Now, to do this, it starts with ensuring that you have a future-ready platform, that where you have the technologies and the capabilities you need today, but we're also investing ahead of the curve in many of the things you heard Satya talk about to ensure you have what you need for the next 50 years as well. For developers, it's about ensuring that you can build with the tools you want, with the languages you want, and on the platforms you want, so you can innovate for your organization in the ways they're expecting you to deliver. And on the Azure team, we have always understood the importance of a hybrid approach across on-premises, clouds, and the edge. And you can count on us to make sure you can run your environment seamlessly and with consistency across management, governance, security, wherever multiple locations where your application resides. And ultimately, it's about trust. We're focused on trust every single day because we know trust is earned in the long term, but can be lost in seconds. That's why we invest $1 billion a year in cybersecurity and why we have always had more compliance certifications than any other public cloud provider. But it's also about being clear that we are a technology company and we're not going to compete with our customers.
Now, the next thing we want to be able to do is have our virtual desktop environment. And we most recently brought to GA Windows Virtual Desktop. There's over 13,000 customers using WVD already, companies like Fidelity Information Services. And this is the only VDI solution out there that has multi-user Windows 10 support, that desktop experience. And you really only pay for what you're going to use it.
And we brought this experience together into a single program for every customer called the Azure Migration Program. And what Azure Migration Program does, it brings together the best practices, the tools, the resources, and the expertise both from within Microsoft as well as our best specialized partners in this area as well. And every customer, large or small, can take advantage of the Azure Migration Program. So we certainly encourage you to do that.
First of all, let's think about the problems that we need to be able to deal with. In particular today, as I mentioned, you might be targeting multiple clouds already. You might have your on-premises data center and you've got edge deployments, like I mentioned, the factory and things like that as well. And the truth is, as businesses continue to expand to the edge, you're getting even more of these types of solutions. And you're probably in a case where you might have multiple different types of technology that you're having pulled together, which basically makes it even harder to make sure that everything is secure and it's being managed in a very consistent kind of way. That's why we're very pleased today to announce Azure Arc and the preview for Azure Arc. It's a set of technologies that brings Azure services, governance, and management to any infrastructure. Now, most of our workloads out there, they're going to have some kind of compute and they almost always have data. And that's why we're pleased to bring the preview of Azure SQL Database and Azure Database for Postgres SQL as part of our Azure Data Services Anywhere. Now, this really allows you to be able to take the same database technology that you've been using in Azure and give us the opportunity to run it elsewhere as well. Now I can actually make sure I'm always up to date. I've got elastic scale, and I only pay for what I use. And most importantly, you can run it on any hardware that you have and any distribution of Kubernetes. Let's go ahead and take a look at all this stuff in action. Gabe, take it away.
In Satya's keynote, we saw how Azure Arc enables Azure Data Services, bringing powerful database as a service capabilities to any infrastructure. Let's see how we can use Azure Arc to organize, secure, and govern Kubernetes clusters and applications on any infrastructure, including on-prem data centers, any cloud, or at the edge. So how does this work at a high level? Well, step one, we extend Azure management across all our infrastructure using Azure Arc, giving us a secure, organized, and governed foundation. Step two, we use Azure Policy to allow developers to safely and securely deliver applications and data services to any infrastructure.
Now, when we think about this, we're going to start off with Visual Studio. It's the best in class for every developer that's out there. We start off with our Visual Studio, the rich IDE that can run on Windows, that can run on the Macintosh, or Visual Studio Code that I can run in multiple platforms. And also the introduction that we announced earlier this year with Visual Studio Online, which I can do collaborative development and not really lose my place as I go. In particular, we're very pleased to announce the general availability of availability zone support, auto scaling, multiple node pools. We're introducing the preview of dev spaces to be able to develop and test locally, in addition to the preview for Azure Security Center to give us full integration for AKS. So it really is the best kube environment that you can run on today. We've had tremendous success in adoption of SQL Server itself, and I'm very pleased to announce the general availability of SQL Server 2019. Yeah, SQL users, there we go, yeah. We're very happy with this. And the key thing to remember about SQL Server, it's not just a database. I mean, we've essentially continued to evolve it into an entire data platform. We're going to give you the ability to deliver a comprehensive set of analytics solutions as well. I can have structured and unstructured data. I've got Apache Spark support. So pretty much everything you'd expect to have in a modern version of a database. And SQL literally runs everywhere. And we had brought SQL Server 2017 to Linux, and it was downloaded more than 30 million times. And of course, we continue that on with SQL Server 2019. And our goal here is to make sure that you can run it best across, whether you're running it in infrastructure or you're running it on top of the actual data service itself, if you're running in your own premises, or now in multiple clouds, in all sorts of locations with Azure Arc and with the Azure Database Edge on the edge. Now we're also pleased, therefore, to announce Azure Database for PostgreSQL Hyperscale in general availability today. It's going to give you that really super fast support, that horizontal distribution, again, across data and across all of the database cluster. We'll handle all that work for you. And again, scaling out to thousands of cores for maximum power. Azure Synapse Analytics. And if we look at the solution for Azure Synapse Analytics, this is the way to think about the stack. It starts off with Azure Data Lake Storage at the base, where I can store any type of volume that I want. And we do exabytes worth of storage. Even in Microsoft, we do petabyte level queries. That's how we actually run the company. We're taking that same technology and we're making it available to you. And with that, we're also very pleased to announce that we've made general availability with a personalizer support. Personalizer is the industry's first AI service based on reinforcement learning. Now we continue to add new capabilities into speech as well, including custom neural voice. And it allows you to kind of create personalized voices that match your brand. And I can use deep neural nets in order to do the training of the audio and the work for that. You can also plug it in with Office 365 and whatever terminology that you have. Now my team has a lot of three-letter acronyms. Anybody else? Just me? What's the deal? Okay. Well, my team uses a lot of TLAs. So if you think about all of those documents and those terminologies, well, sometimes speech to text doesn't quite understand what that means. But with Office 365 and that kind of integration, we can actually do a great job on that. Thank you very much.